All right, guys, let's talk about Punisher Solo Nightmare 4. Now, I already did a general Nightmare 4 guide for Punisher that is really designed to be if you're like queuing with friends or with a group or whatever. But this specifically will be the solo approach. And a lot of things are similar, but some things are different. So let's dive right into it. Now, I will give you some information up front. Punisher, so far for me, Punisher's been the toughest to do a solo run on, mainly because of his survivability. And I had a clear, one of my solo clears on Punisher, I got so unlucky with Moonlight Protection that I had over 10,000 HP, but I was still getting cooked by Wanda. And I was like, holy heck, I don't know that I've ever had that few Moonlight Protections drop. But his survivability really is a struggle. And up front, it's not too bad because the mob sizes will be small enough that you can kite effectively. But it's really from waves 15 to 20 that his survivability becomes a problem. All right, so just know that up front. I've never had to use 10 revives in a solo run before. I did on one of my Punisher clears. He's tough. He's kind of tough, guys. So anyways, it might be worth it just to go to the store and buy some onks. Whenever you complete your solo challenge, you do get 100 units for free as a reward. That kind of offsets the cost of buying 10 up front so that you can get through the run to begin with. But just know that Punisher's kind of tough. So the question then becomes, how do we deal with survivability? So one thing you're going to notice in the gameplay, I have a trio of zip lines set up. And I'm going to be using them very, very often to reposition and to fly around the map. I'm also using the orange zipline ability called Phantom Rush, which makes it so that I get a speed boost and collision immunity after I use one of my zip lines. So that's going to help me kite a lot easier if I keep pinging the zip lines and I have faster movement speed and I can walk through zombies. That's very, very helpful. In addition to that, you're going to want to learn to really spam your right-click ability, your smoke grenade, because if you slow down the animation, you might notice you have a yellow glow when you use this ability. Those are immunity frames, guys. So you can literally, if something is like a zombie's exploding on you, or if you find yourself in a pool of green acid, just hit that right click. It is your oh crap button, because you will then stop taking damage for a tiny window, which is usually enough to completely save your life. So definitely get in the habit of using your smoke grenade ability as an oh crap button, because it will definitely help you out. So for survivability, I'm using my zip lines. I have them set up in a trio. I've got like 2 going up to the Baxter building and 1 just kind of going up to a skyscraper. So I have 3 different directions to choose from, and I can actually just kind of run the circuit if I want to. You can also use your smoke grenade mid-air. Like if you're coming down off of a zip line and you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, I should have looked at where I was coming down, and you realize you're going to land in a pile of zombies, then you can use your smoke grenade while you're flying through the air to change your trajectory and give you immunity. So that's how we're going to deal with the survivability issue on the Punisher. But just know that it is a much more involved and kind of stressful run as Punisher than it is anything. A lot of other characters, you can just face tank everything. I mean, with Blade, you can stand in the green goo. As long as you're swinging your sword, you will be fine. Punisher does not have that same luxury. So, yeah, your heart might be pounding through your chest as you do this run. Also, you can use your turret to take aggro off of you. You can put it in the tree. You can put it on the bus. You can put it on the wall. If you put it on the floor, it will get destroyed almost immediately. But the good news is it will soak up aggro and everything will target it instead of you. So if you need just a 2-second breather, you can throw that down in a panic as well. Never use your ultimate. Never use your ultimate in a solo run. Don't even use it to break a Namor bubble. So along those lines, let's chat about cards that you need to get, and then let's chat about bossing. These are the things that are going to be really challenging for you. Starting with the cards, Punisher's Upgrade is your #1 top card to get. You will buy every single one of these. In fact, damage is the name of the game with Punisher. We don't have survivability, so it's a lot better if we can take everything out immediately. Like the longer we take to kill something, the more vulnerable we are. We want to, like you'll notice in my clear against Wanda, or in my solo clear against the double Wanda phase, wave 20, I only had to break one of the Wanda's bubble attacks one time before I had done enough damage to send her to her final stand. And even then, I don't have to shoot a single crystal. I have stacked enough damage that I can pop her bubble once, send her to final stand, and then kill her in a matter of seconds. And then, like, with some other heroes who don't do big single target damage, the double Wanda wave can take 10 to 15 minutes on its own. With Punisher, we can kill a Wanda from full health to dead in under a minute. That's because we don't want to have to be on that battlefield any longer than is absolutely necessary. So we are going to stack a ton of damage. So Punisher's Upgrade is your number one best card. Your Holy Grail is the legendary one, obviously. And yes, you absolutely can and should set yourself up for success up front by queuing into the match, and then trying to get a Punisher's Upgrade as your very first card. You know, keep refreshing until you see it within reason. Don't waste 20 tokens on refreshes. But 5 or so refreshes is probably fine, 5 or 6. And if you've got the Punisher's Upgrade legendary, you buy that one, and then you roll the dice on a random card, hoping to duplicate it. That is going to set you up for your best chance of success up front. It might save your run. You'll be happy you did it 45 minutes later when you are doing enough damage to bake those Wandas. You'll be glad that you did it. I know a lot of people are like, well, that's a stupid cheese. Listen, this is like solo Nightmare 4, this is all about min-maxing, okay? So welcome to the world of min-maxing, and like if you've done any low man challenges on RPGs, solo raid clears, things like that, this is just this is actually a pretty diet version of that kind of a challenge to do. We're very used to things like min-maxing, even when it comes to roguelite mechanics. So set yourself up for success. Buy your Punisher's Upgrade first. Try to duplicate it. If it doesn't work out for you, you can always just quit out and retry, quit out and retry. I have never had a quitter penalty for quitting out of solo matches, not a single time. I have had a couple of commenters say it has happened to them. So, I mean, I don't know. I've quit out of matches probably 10 to 12 times in a row trying to get a good start and not been hit with any kind of a ban or a timeout. So, set yourself up for success. Extended magazine, only get like a couple of these. You don't really need to have a deep magazine unless you're really unlucky with Smart Mag. But once you get Smart Mag, you're going to buy this as soon as you see it, but this is going to refund your ammo to you, so your mag size doesn't matter. I would say get maybe 3,000 bullets in your magazine, and that's plenty. You'll never hit the bottom of it because you've got Smart Mag on. The only time it'll ever come into play is like when you're bossing against Namor, in which case I say buy one rapid reload, and that'll help offset that, that problem entirely. Other than that, we're going to be really picky about what we spend our tokens on in the red tree. Just a couple of extended mags, like I said. Every Punisher's Upgrade we're going to buy. Buy every Precision Judgment. I would say go ahead and buy every Overwhelming Assault. I think you don't. This is one, I'll leave this one up to you. I don't think it's a mandatory thing. This is the one that increases your rate of fire as you hold the trigger down. I don't know that I really tell much of a difference, to be honest. So maybe get a handful of these, but don't full send on it. Deadly Lock On, very picky here. Only get 2 to 3 seconds of Deadly Lock On. 2 to 3 seconds. So a purple one will give you 1 second of auto tracking, and the legendary one will give you 2 seconds of auto tracking. So I would say maybe one of each, no more than 2 of the legendaries. You don't want more than 4 seconds of auto aim on. Why? Auto aim is really nice for when we're using our zip lines. Like if we rack up the headshots, we tag a zip line, we're flying through the air. Now we don't really have to aim. We just hold the trigger down and our bolts are going to go find targets. That's great. That helps us out so we can have constant uptime on our damage. And in times where maybe you are damaging Wanda and then she goes into her ghost ball form, you can still be holding down the trigger and it will auto aim to a target that it can hit instead of the one that you can't, and that will keep your healing intact. But other than that, we only want to have 2 to 3 seconds on our auto aim. And there's a very big reason for that. I want you to look at this. I talked about this in my general Punisher guide, but there's a trick you can do with Wanda, and you can do this with the jumbo squids when fighting Namor as well, but mainly against Wanda's bubble. You can amplify your damage, and I mean like putting an exponent by it. I mean, we are ramping it up in an insane amount of damage. if we shoot the floor underneath Wanda's bubble. Don't shoot the bubble directly. Shooting the bubble directly, I mean, sure, you can't do any headshot damage or anything like that, but, you know, it does okay damage. But if you shoot the floor underneath the bubble, look at how quickly it gets broken. Look at this. You seeing this? You seeing this crap? This is insane. So that's your secret tip for dropping Wanda quickly, is shoot the floor underneath the bubble. You get way more damage. But if we've stacked too many deadly lock-ons, then when she goes into her bubble, we're going to have 4 seconds where we cannot target the floor. Our bullets will actually turn up, and even though she's inside her bubble, the bullets will be trying to go towards her head, and they'll just hit the bubble instead of the floor for 4 seconds, or however many seconds we've stacked a deadly lock-on. So that's why I say only 2 to 3 seconds, so that we can use that secret tech to baking her bubbles. And that's it for the red cards. Okay, everything makes sense there. Let's talk about purples. Vitality, I say shoot for around 10k. That should be plenty for double Wanda. But the thing that's really important is stacking Moonlight Protection. And I got so unlucky on one of my runs with Punisher when it comes to Moonlight Protection. I got so few of them that even 10,000 HP, I was getting demolished sometimes, and I did not care for that. So really got to make sure you're buying every Moonlight Protection that comes your way. Punisher is the only character I buy every Power Surge on. Okay, we really want to ramp up our damage. And even though these are much smaller bonuses than the red cards, than Punisher's upgrade is, they're still worth grabbing. I mean, it will add up over time. If it was up to me, obviously, I'd take a Punisher's upgrade instead of these every single time. But the reality is you're just not going to get enough. So you may as well take the Power Surges when they present themselves. Like I said, we want a full send on damage with Punisher, so buy every single one of them. We will buy 0 Primordial Frost, 0 Zeus's Thunder, okay? We don't want any of those. We also don't want to buy Restorative Respire either. Get 2 Vampiric Vitalities, and then stop buying them, because after that, you won't feel the effects of anything beyond that. Just get 2 and call it a day. You will have enough damage going out that you'll be at full health every time you shoot something. Full Moon, you can only get 3 of these to drop. Ideally, you'll get them all before or at wave 10. If you get them after that, you'll have diminishing returns. You still may as well grab them. If at wave 15 you get your 3rd one to drop, you may as well grab it. It'll still pay for itself. But like I said, diminishing returns. Best to get all 3 of these early. But that's all the cards. Now, like I said, survivability is the challenge with Punisher. So here's what I would recommend you do. Spam those zip lines to stay over the battlefield as much as you can, and that'll keep your movement speed buff intact as well. Remember to make sure you're using your smoke grenade as your oh crap button to give you immunity frames. This is going to get you out of a lot of sticky situations. And speaking of which, I want to talk about bossing here for a second. When you're fighting Namor and he puts you in that bubble, right, that can be a real problem as Punisher. Especially if you have not killed all of the ads, just the regular zombies during those boss phases. If he puts you in a bubble, all the other zombies are going to come underneath the bubble and just wait for you to drop. But remember the immunity frames of your smoke grenade. So if that happens, if he puts you in a bubble and you look down and there's a bunch of zombies waiting for you, spam that smoke grenade. So as soon as that bubble pops, you actually are immune as you come back down. And that'll save your life. So this is a great way to offset those deaths coming out of the bubble, is to use your right click, your smoke grenade, to grant you immunity. Now Namor goes down very easy, so does Wanda in the wave 5 and wave 10. These boss fights should be a walk in the park for you. You really want to make sure that you've got your 120 stacks of red cards by the first boss fight. You should be over 60 on wave 1. You really want to be at 60 or above it on wave 1. By the time you get to wave 5 and you have your second big spending spree, you want to be at 120 going into the Namor fight. Kill the ads first, use your right-click smoke grenade to save your life coming out of the bubble, and then you want to focus the squids down once the standard ads are gone. Stay in motion as much as possible, but the bubble won't be a problem if all the ads are gone, so it's not a big deal if he bubbles you when it's just you and Namor. At the point at which you've killed enough squids that he drops to the ground, it's basically over. Stay far away from him, keep your distance, put the reticle on his head, and just stand there and hold the trigger down until he dies. But if you're standing far enough away, the whales will not touch you. Wanda is even easier than Namor, and she goes down much more quickly. Again, you're going to kill the ads. You're going to stay in motion to avoid the her stunning bubbles that she puts down. And then when she goes into her bubble form, all you're going to do is shoot the floor right underneath the bubble. It'll pop almost immediately. And then you're going to dump a ton of damage into her head while she's stunned. And then when she goes to her final stand, don't shoot a single crystal. Do not take your reticle off of her head. You will destroy her so quickly. You will not need to kill any of the crystals to extend your time. In fact, taking your reticle off of her will make you miss out on more damage than anything else. So, never shoot a crystal, just shoot her in the head. And that same thing applies to the double Wanda phase. Let's talk about Wave 15, when you have Namor and you have Wanda. I'm going to recommend going for Wanda first. Normally, I like to kill Namor first. But in this one, with how quickly Punisher can take Wanda out, it's just better to get her off the board as soon as possible. And then that's just one fewer boss you got to deal with. So again, you're going to take out the ads first. Use your smoke grenade to get yourself out of the bubble situations. And then you're going to focus Wanda first. Break her bubble, send her to final stand. Make sure you stay in motion as much as possible. And go ahead and bake her in her final stand by just keeping the reticle right on her head. Now, full disclosure, you're probably going to die on Wave 15. Okay, Waves 15 through 20 are where you're going to be using your revive tokens. And I do recommend that you go ahead and use those. Take full advantage of those. They're there for a reason. There's no shame in it. No shame at all. Use as many as you need to use or as you feel comfortable with. Like I said, 10 should be about what you should expect for an average, for your first few Punisher clears. Anything less than that is probably when you're getting really used to him and you get a lot better at the kiting. But for your first clears, expect to use probably 10 revive tokens. But there's just so many ads, and then you've got the bubble from Namor and you've got the stun bubble from Wanda coming in. It's just a lot to manage, and it's perfectly reasonable to expect that you're going to die maybe a few times on Wave 15. As you're trying to deal with the ads and the two bosses that keep stun locking you, it's annoying, it's obnoxious, but you can get through it. You can get through it. Once the ads are all done, then we're going to focus Wanda, take her off the board, then we go focus the squids. I don't know what it is about Wave 15, but I feel like I sit there and I shoot squids for so long, longer than it needs to be, frankly. I'm like, dude, how many of these freaking squids do I need to kill before Namor will come out of the sky? I don't know. It's too many is what it is. It gets a little monotonous. But once the squids are dead and he's on the ground, then we're going to ignore all of the squids, keep our distance, put the reticle on his head, just hold the trigger down, and don't move, and he'll die pretty quickly. When we get to double Wanda, the strategy is mostly the same. I should mention waves 16, 17, 18, and 19, the ones with just a ton of ads. These can be tricky. You might take a death or two here because you got the exploding ones, you got the ones throwing grenades at you, you got the ones spitting green goo at you. I recommend prioritizing the goo people and really walk them down. Walk at the green ones and hold the trigger down, and you'll stun lock them so they can't throw their junk at you. And try and take them out on spawn when they're still in their big clusters before they fan out around the map. So keep your head on a swivel. Make sure that even as you're shooting the mob in front of you, you take just a split second to whip the mouse and check around the map real quick just to see where the other mobs are spawning from. You might decide, well, the ones in front of me are crawly boys, but I see that a mob of green ones just spawned over in that corner. So you may just switch targets entirely and say, okay, well, I'll come back to the crawling guys. I want to stun lock the green guys as they come out of spawn and prioritize them instead. So make choices about what threats are the biggest threats and take them out first. Then when you get to double Wanda, again, you may take a death here just on the ad phase because that's really not Punisher's strong suit. He's single target damage out the wazoo, but when it comes to dealing with mobs, it's manageable when there aren't two bosses in play with stun abilities, but when there are two bosses with stun abilities, it can be a little obnoxious. So make sure you're using your zip lines during the ad phase when you're just trying to clear the ads. Give yourself that boost in movement speed. give yourself collision immunity, use your right click to get yourself out of trouble as much as possible, and really focus those ads down as fast as you can. And the hard part about Punisher is definitely like when the target you're shooting at dies and you have to look around to try and find a target to shoot at. It's that downtime that could get you killed. Whereas with Magic and Blade, as long as your sword is spinning, it's like hitting things that you're not even looking at. But Punisher doesn't have that luxury. So your target acquisition speed will matter, especially when you've got two bosses doing boss level damage to you. You need to be able to acquire a new target very quickly. So if you can't find another ad to shoot after you kill the one you're working on, just whip to a boss real quick and use your peripheral vision to locate where the other ads are, and then swap targets to them then. After that, really, I usually like to just pick one Wanda to bully at a time. I don't really do that with Punisher because you can break those bubbles so fast that it just does not matter. Just shoot any Wanda you see. If you want to try to focus one down more quickly, you definitely can. But even if they go to final stand at the exact same time, you're going to bake both of them as they're sort of conjoined into one Super Wanda. That's fine too. But usually you'll be able to take just one out at a time because one will end up in her final stand before the other. And she goes down very fast when you're Punisher with stacking all this headshot damage and whatnot. She goes down very fast. And again, don't shoot a crystal, just shoot her head. Stay in motion if the other Wanda is up because she could still hit you with her stun abilities. But if you're down to just one Wanda, you can just hold still, keep the reticle on the head, and bake her. And that's Punisher. Not easy, okay? Just know that going into it. He's a tougher one just because of the survivability issue. That's why we stack all the damage we can to help offset that and bake these things quickly. I hope you found that helpful, and hopefully you enjoy getting your title. Where's my title at? Customize. Yeah, that Endless Arsenal title. That's pretty cool. All right, good luck, everybody. Let me know if you found this helpful, and feel free to check out my other guides, too, for the other heroes. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Be warm and well-fed. Bye-bye.